All right. Good evening, everybody. Day 9 of Silent Hill Ascension existing. They haven't pulled the plug yet. So we're gonna keep going with it. Yami, thank you so much for the bit. Daily Scamba buy-in. 1 cameo ticket, you got it. No, I want to try and figure out something fun to do for the cameos. I'm still workshopping that idea because there's like various plugins and things that you can get that work with Twitch that can also, I've seen channels and stuff where you can use channel points to like battle each other and stuff like that. So I'm trying to figure out some way to integrate cameos and mini games and user interaction, because the joke, in case you haven't figured it out by now, is to make fun of how fucking terrible Ascension is and all of the interactive elements of it, and the meaningless of the influence points and all of that. And that's the whole fun of the scam point thing. But legitimately now, here's the thing. It started as a joke. I thought this would be a really funny, like, one-day bit of, like, it's so funny. I've got scam points. You know, the more I look into things that you can potentially do with point integration and community interaction with a live stream and things like that, I'm realizing more and more that even someone who has no idea what they're doing, like me, I've been streaming for a long time on Twitch, but I've never really cared to look into all of those types of things because they're not typically part of how I do my streaming. Like, they're not part of how I want to broadcast. Typically, I'm very straightforward. I like doing, if I'm doing an informative playthrough of a game, I just want to have the gameplay on screen and my voice, and that's it. I've always been very minimalistic when it comes to things like alerts. I don't like super invasive things. I typically prefer a much more simple, kind of straightforward broadcast and stuff when it comes to just my preference with what I want to do with my channel. But the more I've started looking into this as what started as a joke, I'm realizing there's more and more potential fun things you can actually do with this. And especially, while we're dealing with something like Silent Hill Ascension, where we kind of have to make our own fun, this is the perfect time to experiment with all of these other Twitch features and point features and things that I don't usually play around with, because I legitimately think that we can have a more meaningful, fun experience just with the tools that like Twitch provides than anything that GenVid, supposedly put any sort of work or effort into, which isn't much by the looks of things. So yeah, it started off as a joke, and now it's one of those things where I'm like, this is actually legitimately kind of fun. I love scam points. I love all the things we could potentially do with scam points. And that brings me to, I guess, the community decision for today for the Nub Zombie canon. Let's switch over here to the Ascension thing, and yep, there is chat in the bottom right corner, and hopefully that should be working. and should look okay. So I figured today everyone gets the good God, here we go again. What's up, Blood Blossom? Hey, everyone. But yeah. Chat window is so far behind. Perfect. Perfect. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Now, I just want to show this right now. In fact, boom, it's gone. Now here's the thing. This community choice was made by everyone who participated in the poll that was put up at like 5:30 in the morning Eastern time on YouTube. I put it in the community tab on my YouTube channel. So for everyone here watching Twitch Live, this is the Silent Hill Ascension experience for anyone outside of a standard US time zone. People on the other side of the world got to decide for you what you get to experience. And what they chose for you is to have chat on the window, to have chat as part of the stream. So I figured everyone should get a good taste of that experience. I figured that's only fair. Because these communities' decisions are not all being made by, you know, everyone tuning in live and watching this. Most people have to catch VODs. Most people are going to be experiencing this after the fact. And for a lot of people, especially people who are in UK and European and time zones everywhere else in the world, since this broadcasts everywhere else in the world, I figured, you know what, why not put a poll on a different platform in a completely different time zone to decide something for you that will affect everyone. So there you go. There's that experience. We're going to have chat. But the only time, I just want to show you that chat's there, and for now it's hidden. The only time I'm going to put chat on screen is when we're in Ascension chat mode. And this is Ascension chat mode. You'll notice nobody's saying any words. We do have emojis. Emojis are back. I repeat, emojis are functional in Ascension chat once again. Thank our Lord and Savior, Jacob Navoke, for fixing that personally. And of course, stickers still work. So there we go. That is the Silent Hill Ascension chat experience. So for here on Twitch, if one of my moderators could go ahead and activate Silent Hill Ascension chat mode. Perfect. Thank you, Hirimi. There we go. Now we've got chat on screen. Oh, hold on. It's going to be behind for some reason. It's also going to be lagging super far behind, which just completes the experience. There it goes. There it goes. Perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful. So there you go. We will have chat. Thank you so much to everyone who participated in the voting process in the poll over there on the YouTube community page. Anyone who is voting after this airs live, because technically I couldn't put like a time limit on the poll, so I think it's still open. You're wasting your time and your vote, so even more of an authentic Silent Hill Ascension experience there. And the chat window's even weirdly cut off, so it's perfect. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Perfectly fine. And let me just see if I can get the names for those top influencers, those top scam point. Of course, scam points don't legally exist on YouTube yet. I'm gonna look into that. But the scam points of their hearts and the votes on YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, there they are. There we go. There are top contributors from the YouTube community poll. Thank you so much for contributing the most influence over the Nub Zombie chat canon, and ultimately deciding on chat on screen for Ascension uploads, daily uploads. There were other options. There was an option to have chat off together, off altogether. There was an option to have chat on all the time. There was an option to have chat on only when we're not actively watching an episode. So whenever we're watching episodes, it's a nice clear screen, as much as Ascension's UI allows anyway, which is not at all. But there we go. The decision has been made. The poll is officially decided. Chat will be on screen, but only when it's in Ascension chat mode, which means moderators, for right now, you can go ahead and end Ascension chat mode, and we'll just we'll hide that for now, and we'll randomly come back to that. So far, the community has decided on the background music, the amount of fog on the starting soon screen, and now the appearance of chat on screen. Just imagine how your scam points might further influence the quality of the stream going forward. You have no idea how fucking much I hate emote only mode. Why the fuck do you think I never touched fucking Ascension's chat? It's okay, Blood Blossom. It's a joke here. It's a joke. One of the things I enjoy most about Twitch is this. I get to see your reaction. I get to see your response, and you get to hear me reading it and reacting to it live. Like, that's the whole point of Twitch. It's supposed to be interactive natively, naturally. And that's one of the things about Ascension that they just cannot get right. They're putting such this big focus on this social interactive live media, and none of the live elements matter and none of the social elements matter. Like with Twitch, obviously it's come a long way since Justin TV days and stuff like that. But even back then, just the natural activity of being able to interact with, the streamer live and the other people watching at the same time, building up that community and like that sense of friendship. And, that happens naturally through things like Twitch. Ascension, it's all so forced. It's all so forced and phony, and because just everything around it feels like such a scam. And even now that we're, I'm finding evidence of people not spending money and somewhat influencing votes and stuff. Like, I'm trying to see how these systems and stuff work. It looks like they're trying to nail down the endure systems, and like, even with them trying to tweak things and possibly fix things and make it to where, it really is what it claims it's doing, that it's actually not just a big scam and functioning with all of these complex systems and stuff, and they're just struggling to get it right. It's still, at the end of the day, just not an interesting show and not fun interactivity and everything. Again, it feels incredibly forced. Like, I get that they're also trying to do something that's relatively kind of big and new and ambitious, but it should have been a much better attempt than this, I feel like, especially considering the Walking Dead last mile that they did before this. There's I think, much more important lessons that could have been learned from that experience that weren't applied to the way they wanted to work on Ascension. But anyway, speculation aside, we don't have like a ton of Silent Hill news. Like, there was all sorts of crazy shit to talk about yesterday. The details on Silent Hill: The Short Message, and some of the misinformation spread around Silent Hill 2 Remake with the whole Pyramid Head origin story thing. So we've got a few things, a few tweets from Jacob, who's once again keeping us updated on all matters Silent Hill Ascension related. The Walking Dead game sucked massive shit. Oh, it absolutely did. But I still honestly think, the core concept, the core idea of like a big interactive show and everything like that is not the worst idea. That could actually be really neat. I don't think Silent Hill is the franchise for it. I think it would be much better suited to something like maybe Saw, or I don't know, some other types of horror franchise things could potentially do a format like this better. But there would also need to be a lot more effort put into things like the mini games. The mini games would need to feel more like a actual fleshed out video game for you to feel like it's worth investing time, let alone money, into. And not cheap, shitty Flash games that look like things that are worse than what was on Newgrounds like 20, years ago. That kind of stuff is just unacceptable. And the fact that they expect people to spend money to get access to most of that through like a season pass and stuff is gross. So like, the core concept is not the worst thing in the world, but the execution of everything they've done with Ascension is just so cheap and piss poor. Like, anyway, let's get to the tweets. Many decisions this week and going forward are at minimum 9-way branches. These branches, when they happen, are based on a callback, a reference to a previous choice. Yeah, we know. Like, we've seen now that they've shown, the wrong scene on one day. So we got to compare two different branches, and it's like, okay, there's possibly some more legitimacy to their doing the branching system. This is Jacob just sort of reinforming that idea, and how the callback, which is just the text at the top of the screen. Whenever you're watching an episode, it gives you that text at the top to let you know that you're watching this because, and then it tells you which community choice influenced whichever scene that affected the scene that you're currently watching. So that system is working. For example, in the scene where Carl confronts Astrid in the lab that aired earlier this week, Bound by Blood, The logic of the scene is based on 2 past choices. First is a callback, how Astrid behaved when Detective Hogan. With Detective Hogan, Carl references Astrid giving Hogan the syringe, as opposed to the other choices where she would have hidden or destroyed it. These branches all connect on the inside of the engine. All scenes possible this week have been animated because they all have an equal chance of appearing. So again, this sort of stuff just kind of comes off as defensive. I get it because, I'm skeptical of this. A lot of people are skeptical of this because it is such an ambitious idea. It's hard to believe that it's as legitimate as they claim it is, that there would be all this work and effort put into all these branches and variations and stuff when the audience really only gets to see one, assuming that they run the entire 8 months where they do it 2 times, because that's the overall plan for the 8-month timeline. A lot of people got to understand that's meaning a run through the entire quote-unquote series from start to finish twice. Once with all of the audience's initial choices, and then they want to do a second run where all of the first choices that everyone made the first time through are disabled. So people will get to see a different pathway, essentially. That's assuming that Ascension even goes for its full 8 months. That's assuming that there's anybody left by the end of it running through the first time that would want to fucking stick around and see it again with slightly different things happening. So I don't know. But Jacob insists. Everything has been animated. They all have an equal chance of appearing. Every branch has its own voice recording. It's a massive amount of work, not just to build, but also to test and QA to make sure the engine plays the correct result. And the results are only based on community input. Our teams have been instructed not to influence the user choice data. Every decision is authentic. There are over 150 decisions in Ascension, and most will involve these nested branches. I want to thank the hardworking cinematics team, production and creative teams, and our cinematic director for the incredible work they're doing. And I mean, even if, I don't know, let's not go there. I've spent the last 9 days sharing how I personally feel about Ascension, so I'm sure they're doing their best. Almost said it with a straight face. That's why I really don't stream with a cam. VODs are as important as the live streams. I've always said you don't have to be there live to participate in the story. Just log in at a time of your leisure, be part of a decision, and come back the next day to see the results and catch up. You can already see that loop working, and you all got a taste of that loop with the Nub Zombie canon and me basically doing that whole YouTube gets to decide what you have to see today. Even though you here on Twitch probably didn't vote for it. You don't have to be here live. Just come here at your leisure and see what other people have decided for you. Or don't. Who cares? You may find it wasteful to not show the alternative branches. They will be seen. We will do this after the main season run ends, during our What If alternative run, where we'll run the engine again, but with the canonical choices grayed out. You'll have an opportunity to unlock and see how the story could have gone. So that's what their plan is after running through the entire the series the first time, is to run through it again with all those first options grayed out, like I explained. He says, I want to highlight also what we think about choice and decision. When working on the series, we focused on characters and relationships to start. We don't have to say Carl will remember that, because we're actually showing Carl remembering that in the scenes, as you saw above. Okay, now, first of all, it's the exact same thing as your callback text. It doesn't matter if it's The Walking Dead popping up and saying so-and-so will remember that, or if it's the text popping up and saying, you're watching this scene because 58% of the community voted. It's the same thing. We get it. Like, there's nothing special or distinct about that. Like, why do they insist on making that difference. Like we're not like other games. We're not like a typical Telltale game because we word it differently. With those characters, who these characters become and which ones survive, which ones are in some ways in which we thought about demonstrating authenticity of user choice. At the start of Ascension, we're still learning who these people are. No shit, we still barely know who anyone is. We're 9 days in. And the delusions are localized. This will start to unravel. Your choices will determine that web of relationships throughout Ascension, what kind of people our characters become, and how it all ends. See, again, the problem with that is, again, give them the biggest benefit of the doubt. Let's say they've written out an incredibly amazing story, and it's part of that story that it starts off terrible. Maybe that will be explained in the lore somehow. But stick with me here. Give them the hugest benefit of the doubt and assume that that's the case. I don't know about you, but personally, I'd be pretty pissed off that there are these super well-written characters and I'm currently stuck on a pathway in the story with those characters based on choices that I had to make within the first 10 days where I didn't know who the fuck they were or what the fuck their relationships to anybody else are or what the motivations are, because everything is being drip fed so slowly and we don't have any context yet. I'd be pretty fucking mad if 4 months from now we're wrapping up the story and suddenly I see the brilliancy, the brilliant writing and characterization of Carl Johansson, and he dies because of some shit that we decided on day 4. Fuck. That's a really shitty way to tell a story. You need to have something to connect you to these characters and get an understanding for these characters. Like, you can't just say, hey, community, you will shape these characters, but you're going to do it, blind. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe that's the whole point and I'm missing something here. But that seems like a really shitty way to tell that story. I feel like there needs to be more emphasis around giving us context of the characters, giving us context of the story, and trying to make us care first before giving us like major character defining decisions. Let the first week, I know it's harder to sell a game, and especially not even a game, an experience, a TV show with predatory monetization attached. Let's just call it for what it is. I know it's a rough sell if your first, week is all character exposition, but here's the thing. Most Silent Hill fans I know. Oh my God, is there a pre-show? There's a pre-show. Shut up, me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension pre-show. My name is Layla. I'm here with the effervescent Noah.
Layla is alive.
And Noah, would you like to take us through the run of show?
Yes, it will be my absolute pleasure, Layla. Thank you. So we are now at the pre-show, which is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5:40 Pacific.
I thought it was just going to be a post show.
And then we have the show every day at 6 Pacific time PM. That's every day. And then the post show
is the audio right okay? Can everyone hear?
The show
Noah
we have
and Layla?
On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So yeah, Layla is so excited to do this show with you tonight.
I know, I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen each other, but we're here today for Silent Hill Ascension, which is a socially interactive streaming series where all of you collectively shape and experience its evolving story. So you can collaborate and compete with your fellow audience members. every single day to get the choices that you want into the story. So when each decision ends, the
We're
choice
doing
locks in
things.
as canon, and that is the version of the show that everyone sees. A canon story shaped by you, the audience,
Sorry.
every single day. So today we have a scene
We're
to show
having
you.
some technical difficulties.
And
Give me a
production
moment.
will pull it up, and let's see what Carl's getting up to over in Norway.
It's fine. What's going on in Norway?
Are you coming home then?
Okay, recap.
Not while my condescending asshole of a sister is there, telling me how she gets me.
She's just trying to reach out to you.
Where was that when I was in rehab, Papa? Look, maybe you can come visit me after the funeral. After things have calmed down. Papa?
So I believe this is Brit,
Yeah,
right?
I'll call you later.
That's Astrid's sister. That's his other daughter.
You should see this.
We still don't really know who Ava is.
What is that?
I think something fed here.
But she's
There's
just here
something
with a
out there.
gun.
In the woods.
Did you see something, Eva?
You've seen it too.
Where did you get that gun?
I thought I should protect myself.
That's not an
I
answer.
was hoping you'd show me how to use it.
Your mother would kill me if she found out. I should take it away from you.
So this is a community
She hasn't
choice. This is
seen
the
what
first
you've
community
seen.
choice where there's only two options.
I'll think on it. I said I think on it. Now go on home.
It's basically just take the gun from her or teach her to shoot. Only two options. So yeah, this if we knew
Welcome
anything
back. I hope you enjoyed
about
that.
Carl, and if we
Noah,
knew anything about Ava,
not a great day
I
for
could
Carl.
see this
I
as
think
being
that's
like
kind
an
of the overall theme
intriguing
we go with here.
decision.
Yeah, he's just had like a bad day for like
Yo, what the
35
fuck?
years consecutively.
Oil Prince alert.
But now it's kind of even worse. But it's still it's so kind of like
Yo.
snap out of it, man. Like I want to
You
shake you.
son of a bitch.
You want to shake him, get him to respond a little bit more. Yeah, it's man. Listen, Carl.
Tiny Wolf, thank you so
yeah,
much for
in terms of, like, what's going on in Carl's life
$500.
right now, right? We got dead wife, we got daughters fighting, and now there's something going wrong on his farm. He
That's
is now goatless
actually
because it's a new
insane.
creature, and the creature continues.
It just
to mess
says, "You know
around,
what you did,
with
bitch."
whatever that pile of flesh used to be, right?
You motherfucker.
Unclear. It used to be alive. Now it's a pile of flesh.
You motherfucker.
So in terms of poor Carl, yeah, you know, I do wonder how many.
For those who
people
don't
are
know,
on the
I
team
can
of,
hear
you kind of want to shake him and want him to do
Rachel
more.
and Tiny Wolf
Actually, I'm
laughing
on the
in
team
the
of, like,
living
maybe
room
take a minute,
hysterically,
I would love to know.
which
Anyone else
means
in the
they're
audience is
either
also on
laughing
team.
at the reaction to
This is
this,
why we can't co-parent.
or they're
Leila.
listening to the sound of spam
Yeah.
falling out of a can.
This is why we won't, like, we're great as friends, but we shouldn't have the child together.
No, I
Anyway,
don't think we should. I don't think we should co-parent
Nub
a grown
Zombies wail.
Norwegian man. Certainly.
Citizen Dildo.
we're co-parenting
The real
here
citizen
with
dildo.
the audience, and that's really cool. And for sure will make for a disturbed child. But yeah, all this, like, you know, you can take his wife, his daughter can go.
I'm gonna have
like,
to
go
rewatch all of
rehab.
this because I've been
Don't
completely
have his
distracted.
goals.
Tiny Wolf, thank you
This
so
is-
much for the $500.
There's a limit to everything, and
You're
this has gone
insane,
too far.
and I love you.
That's true.
Thank
yeah,
you.
he does seem to be returning to the topic of the goats and the creature on the farm more than the topic of his daughters fighting before his wife's funeral.
Or his wife dying, it's like my goats.
Which, you know what? Fair enough. I too love goats very, very much, so I kind of get it. Hey,
What
speaking of
happened?
Carl
Are we
making
loving
choices, though, we do have
goats?
some decisions
I
coming
feel
up,
like I
so do you
lost
wanna run
a
us through
lot
those, Noah?
here.
I would love.
I feel like they
nothing
probably
more
talked
than
about something
production.
really
Could you
important.
Please show us the graphic, because we have a super.
Is Toby
important
secretly a
decision
goat?
here. We have, how will Toby respond to Joy's death? This is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else. So
This is a big deal.
This is gonna make a big impact.
Big
moving
impact.
forward on the story. So
How
we have
will
to
Toby
decide
respond to
if he's
Joy's
gonna
death?
Demand answers, which is
Damnation is in the lead, just barely. That feels rigged.
Which is why we can't co-parent.
Yeah, I would love to see Toby start a metal band that is just called the Foundation of Damnation. I think that'd be a good move for him.
That's good. Or Death of Joy.
Death of Joy is the first album of Foundation of Damnation.
right. That's a good one.
I think that's where we go. But no, truly, like this is a really big moment for Toby because, you know, we joke about Carl taking action on things, but this is genuinely a moment for Toby to take some pretty direct action.
I make some pretty fucking awful jokes. Those are like
listen,
worse than my level.
Nothing to earn goodwill from him, and I wouldn't be very surprised. Actually,
that sounds like a band name.
Decision open with the choices so far right here, and our dear audience is certainly neck and neck right now. These numbers have not moved. I've been keeping an eye on them.
What are they saying? I'm going crazy. Don't worry.
No, it's like giving me anxiety.
So am I, Freeman.
I want to kind of like make more influence points and put more influence into it.
Well, what
12
we
more
can
minutes.
do is influence our dear audience to go to that decision and vote on what you'd like to see, because it truly is close.
12 more minutes until the actual episode.
In the spirit of putting in the choice that the decision that you want, like time is not on your side, so it's time.
Right, so let's talk a little bit about our fate.
This is going to happen for 6 more months.
So all the
Don't worry, the dev streams are only Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And all the fun and horrifying stuff that we have here will contribute to whether the character will face redemption, suffering, or domination in the Silent Hill Ascension final.
Mm-hmm.
And their fate is decided across the season, and the character's hope needs to be high enough for them to survive the story, crucial story moment. So you need to keep their faith up, keep their hope up for them to survive. So, Layla, could you
gotta keep their hope up?
Yeah, I'd love to. So, fate, you know, as we
you just got to do that by participating in the completely broken endure segments,
or damnation for him. That is his fate.
Or by playing the completely boring slider puzzle and guitar mini games.
Suffering sweep that none of us are expecting. Who's to say, right? And the answer to that is you.
That's the only influence you have on character hope.
Audience to, like, quite literally rally around whatever decision they would like to see come out. And in terms of hope, that is what all of our puzzles are for. Because
no, that's what 2 of your puzzles are for.
Something that happens.
2 of your worst puzzles in a selection of already bad puzzles.
Keeping our characters hopeful and letting them maybe see the light at the end of the tunnel, even if their fate disagrees with that. That's also something our audience can influence.
Right, and so influence points. There are secret sauce here to influence things. You, the
Scam
audience,
points.
You can use
that's the real secret sauce
to make those decisions. So once the decision is made by y'all, by the audience, it's canon.
Yeah.
So no big deal.
It's canon forever.
You're a part of history. Of Silent
You're a part of history. Nub Zombie history.
There's no reset button.
There's no reset button.
And the decisions are defined by the influence.
It's end of Small Sanctuary from here on out, baby. It's much fog forever.
To influence the narrative. So you can earn influence points by taking part in our endurances during the live streams, or by doing the puzzles like Layla mentioned. I love the puzzles. Or you can gain them via
that reminds me. Let's get chat reaction. Can we get Ascension chat mode?
You can do it.
Yeah, so we can take a look at today's closing decision as an example of fate, and I will get.
Can we get Ascension chat mode so we can get chat's reaction to
we have
the pre-show right now?
How will Toby respond to Joy's death? Let's check on that once again.
Perfect, thank you.
Still neck and neck.
Neck.
46% and 46%. Noah, that is how close.
Look
it
at
is.
that.
That is what we're doing.
How will Toby respond to Joy's death?
Neck and neck, and it kind of triggers me because I think about how.
Are they supposed to be showing the actual vote, like how much?
Yeah, Joy's neck
is on screen.
Is quite a phrasing. But again, just to remind you, and I believe we have a graphic. The redemption path is to demand answers.
Right.
The suffering path is to get evidence, and the damnation path is to attack the.
Thank you again, by the way, everyone on YouTube who voted for chat on screen. I definitely agree. I think it enhances the experience.
So I'm like on the verge of insanity here. All I know is that people don't want him to suffer. That's all I know.
Yeah.
All I know is that Toby, people are rooting for Toby because he's an everyman. He's an everyday.
He's an everyman.
kinda
He's
guy,
he's
right?
the alcoholic
He's an
fuck up
everyman.
in
He's
all of
rocking a
us.
Flannel. We've fan theoried a band for him.
He's rocking a
we
flannel.
Find him hanging out in a
So you're
quintessential
supposed to care
Pennsylvania
about
dive
him.
Bar. So
That's
yeah,
basically
he
what she said,
definitely-
right? He's an everyman. He's wearing
There's
a
lot to
flannel.
relate to,
He's the
for
one that
all
you
the
should
folks,
relate to.
like me,
We
who
should
maybe
care
grew
about
up in
him.
the Northeast and were kind of sad and mopey, as Toby tends to be. I'm actually
Yeah, he is
seeing-
kind of sad.
He's sad and he's mopey and he's from the Northeast.
He deserves to be.
Let's
right?
give it
His
up for
sister just passed. Like, it's a
Toby.
big thing. I'm quite literally, by the way, watching rallies bounce back and forth between the Redemption and Damnation choice. So, like, our audience is here. They are
Yeah.
activated, and all I have to say to that is, go guys, go guys, go! Like, if you
I
want
feel
to
the energy. I'm pumped here. Come on, let's decide. Is he gonna attack?
I'm
curious.
pumped.
Like, okay, so
Man,
the
this must be a
dancers
really,
in a
really
form,
close
in a way,
decision.
you could say that it's a
Man, which way is it gonna go? Oh man, 23 million versus 22.7 million. You could shape Silent Hill history right now for 300,000 points. That's all it would take. I've already got 5K. How much would it take
We're getting Noah.
for 300,000? The low price? To shape Silent Hill canon forever? Come on, it's real close.
Along the way.
We're
But
also
yeah, it's-
revealing Layla lore, Northeast, dive
True.
bars,
Northeast
hints.
dive bars is big me and Toby. Northeast dive bars. But it's getting closer, by the way, as I continue to check in with the decision.
It's getting
It is
closer.
getting closer now.
46%, 46%. I don't know what would.
46%. But I'm
what
watching
is
What's
the
gonna
your
happen?
numbers.
What's gonna happen?
What do you think?
What if it's
Layla? What do
exactly the
what's your
same amount of
hunch? What
votes
would
on
the
both
audience
sides?
choose? In the end, neck and neck.
direct action? Let's go the
Direct
damnation.
action.
You know, direct action.
You
let's
just
see
pick
if the
one?
Damnation
Does
folks
it even
can pull
matter
it
in the
out.
first place?
It's up to them, right? I am merely the guide. So
You're the wizard that is guiding us. But yeah, current decision. 6 minutes left. This is neck and neck, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else. This is craziness happening right now, right here.
It is
absolutely.
so crazy
I am
right
not joking when
now.
I say I have one eye on it live on my other monitor. It's very intense.
Right.
And
You know, it's kind of
that
funny
actually
because,
sits
like,
neck
we've
and
been
neck. That
pointing
does
out, like,
almost
oh, I mean,
mean
it's
we're
their
getting
job. They've
close
got to
the
sound like
show.
they're
We're getting
excited for
close to
this.
the reveal.
You can see already in
Noah
day
and
9,
production,
just
I
like
believe
I'm
it's
sure you
time
can
for us to
tell,
roll into
I'm
these
way
endurance
less
scenes.
excited about this compared to day
Yes.
1.
I love enduring. Let's endure this together. So
You can tell they're getting bored too. You can tell
yeah,
they didn't
so
get paid
tonight
that much.
We have a special collective boss fight. But
All right,
together.
let's go ahead and end
You will have to
Ascension
survive,
chat mode. Again, thank you
until
everyone
then,
over at YouTube
you will have to
for
survive one of our first seats. So before
contributing
we get to see
towards
all
that
our
vote.
crazy bosses, so you have to survive. One of the main story characters will enter an eerie room and advance slowly, only to find one of you, an audience member, dead. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
A top
thank you,
trawler's
YouTube community
insects,
voters,
with a human face will
CMT
appear. The
voters.
only escape is to run up to the door for freedom. So you'll have to help the character shake off the crawlers, crawl through the barbed wire, and get out of there.
Oh my god.
Inputs will appear on screen
Yeah.
for you to react.
I'm familiar.
And help the character.
I'm familiar with the
escape.
scene as
So
well.
this
We've
is
seen it.
Quite thrilling.
We've seen it 8
Layla,
days in a
please
row.
Elaborate for us.
Yeah, I mean, Noah, if it ever came to enduring bugs, I think my hope would decrease significantly.
What is she
but,
saying? She's
hey,
explaining
as our director of production,
the
Shelley,
basic
mentioned in our
concept
post-show on
and
Monday, if you watched that,
recapping an event
you
that
can
we've
face a
already
collective
experienced
boss fight tonight,
for the last 8
but that all
days.
depends on you as the community. It's going to be challenging, and you have to succeed the first parts of the endure to get there. And hey, you know, I actually have a lot of faith in our audience. I feel like the audience
It's the
has
same
been
every
doing
day,
great.
yes.
I feel like if tonight's the night we're gonna get to the boss fight. It's gonna be
Tonight's the night.
Endure stream, but
Tonight's
I
the
think it'll
night.
be worth it in the end.
Layla spoiled it again. Tonight we're gonna see the boss fight.
Sorry. It made a little rhyme here.
No, I love it.
I can't wait to see the intense and amazing mechanics of the boss fight.
You know, the audience in general has been doing really well with the Endure streams. So
Who do you think the boss is going to
be? We're so proud of you.
We're proud of you, but we could be prouder if you get to the boss fight.
Right. Get to the boss fight. I want to see all those bosses, okay? I want to deal with all of them for once and for all.
Condescend to me more.
Yeah, so what we're learning tonight is that if you cannot take directness, you cannot be friends with Noah, and also she will be disappointed in you if you can't get us to the boss fight.
We're disappointed in you. We're disappointed in you, community.
So I'm jazzed about the bosses, honestly. They're some of my favorite
You
bosses,
should be taking this more seriously. You should be doing better.
All of you guys. I cannot wait
do
to
better.
See all the tippity taps happening.
Ascension fans.
As the stream gets going. Noah, do you have any
tippity tap that? Tippity tap that.
Yeah. Do you have any final words of encouragement as we're 2 minutes away from our show?
Right. So we're 2 minutes away. So actually, Lena, could you recap a little bit before we finish?
Oh, absolutely. So in the last couple of days, we've seen a lot. We've seen Joy die. We've seen the way
let's
her brother
recap.
Toby's reacted to it. We know that Rachel is seeing monsters. So things are not great in Pennsylvania. If we go back over to Norway, we see the death
People
of
are
the
seeing
matriarch,
monsters. Things are not
the
good.
Johansson family and the way her family is
Johansson's.
handling it. Great. I would like to remind us, if we're 2 minutes away from the show, that means we're 2 minutes away from Toby deciding between demanding answers or attacking the Foundation, or, I don't know, miracles have happened. Perhaps he'll ask for evidence.
What's Toby gonna do?
But we will be back right after the show to join you once again for the post-show.
Recapping the recap
this has
again.
been a lovely time.
Somebody
again,
said we should
my
make a
name is
bingo
Layla,
card,
this is Noah.
and I'm starting
We
to
will
think
see you all in just a
if we
few
stick
short
with
minutes,
this,
but
we
for
might
now,
need to have
please
bingo cards for
enjoy
Mondays,
Silent
Wednesdays,
Ascension.
and Fridays. We might have to do dev pre-post show bingo cards. Because it is the same thing, the same talking points like every time. Explaining a base mechanic. You know, recapping something we've seen 8 times. You know, something that we've seen every day before. There's like all these things that would just make a perfect bingo card. So the next one's on Friday. I'll see about making bingo cards before Friday. That might be our next community decision, is whether or not we'll do that. And if the community decides on it, then I'll see about doing that before Friday. Up next, it's time for Ascension. It's time to ascend.
We are here to bear witness to our beloved sister Rachel.
Let me know if everything looks
who has
okay,
come
sounds
to spill
okay.
her blood, not just for those gathered here, but for the sake of all in this town.
No cameos.
The withering ends tonight.
A withering?
Now, do you have anything to say before we begin?
I still don't know why Joy died, but my doubts, my lack of faith, have put us all at risk. So tonight, I submit myself to the Purifier's cleansing judgment.
Okay.
Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
You know what happens if the Purifier judges you unfavorably?
I do.
He sticks a tentacle down your throat and
Then
breaks
who
your
have you
neck.
chosen to perform the ritual?
Oh my
I
god,
asked
the
my
audio
fellow
quality
acolyte,
is
Krista.
dying. The video keeps stuttering. Evil dies tonight. Krista. The community chose Krista. You asked for this, Silent Hill Ascension fans.
I
Not
hoped
me.
it would be me.
Not me. I voted for her husband. I voted for Eric. Oh my god.
You fucking murderers!
Yeah, Toby. Setting fucking fires. That was such a
Toby,
bad
what are you
animation too. It's like, here's the everyman. Here's the everyman that we're supposed to care about. He just threw a Molotov in a church. Here's the relatable one.
What the fuck is this?
Xavier, what's happening?
Here's that skinny puppy music.
Eric?
What is that?
Judgment.
How was that?
I like that I just hear Harry's. Thank you, Nora, for the perfectly timed bits. Who in the hell was that? Is Toby dead? Do we care? The return of Vagina Face?
Why are you following me?
Hey,
The community chose
are you okay?
Stalk from the Shadows.
What?
Look at all the ash. That's how
Is
you know
this
it's
your
Silent
son?
Hill.
He says you're his
the
mother.
cameo.
Orson.
I found him wandering by the docks an hour ago.
I like
An
your
hour?
mustache.
He
God,
was just
that's
here.
got to be a
You
really
didn't
rare
even know
mustache.
He was missing?
There was a man in the fog.
You're a Johansson,
A
aren't
man
you?
in the fuck.
I know about you and your family. I called Child Services.
Wait, what?
You were gone a while.
I called
Mama,
CPS.
are you mad at me? It was just a game.
No, Angel. I'm not
Oh
mad.
my god, the Silent Hill
Anyway,
episode where
I'm
they
sure they'll
take where
contact you.
CPS takes Orson.
Given your family's history, I suggest you tell them what they
Oh
need
my
to hear.
god. Will Astrid tell what will
I
Astrid tell
lost
the
my ball.
social worker?
That's okay, Angel. I'll get you a new one.
Are
What
they
is
gonna
this
come
clown
take me
music?
away?
What's going
No,
on?
sweetheart. I will never let that happen.
What a weird fucking interaction. All right. Alex Caliber and Sahil Bahat.
What is this?
I don't know.
You're seeing this because the community voted for something 6 days ago.
Rachel! Rachel! Are you okay? You were screaming.
Did you see it?
No, baby. I didn't see anything.
Oh, bullshit. Whoa, what was that cut?
Somebody help me! What the fuck, Toby? You almost killed us, man! You have no idea what
What's
happened.
going on? The animations are breaking.
Do you?
Even more than usual.
I knew that some fucked up shit was happening in here. But summoning monsters and shit? I'm not gonna be quiet about it.
No one will believe you.
We'll see about that.
Make sure he leaves the property.
Make sure he leaves. Toby kicked in the
He
door
saw
and
it
threw a
too.
We all
Molotov
did.
at you.
It's spreading.
I warned you about her, Xavier. I knew this would happen.
Krista,
Are you really still defending her? After everything we just...
Enough. Rachel was right.
Oh my god, it keeps
Clearly,
stuttering
we've missed
so
something.
badly.
Radcliffe's teachings are clear.
Yet we cannot deny what we've
It's
seen
like a
tonight.
scratched up DVD
Go home. Get
trying
what
to
rest you can.
struggle to get
But
to the
Barbara,
next scene.
We will stop this.
Wow. What an action packed night of Ascension this has been. I can't wait for the recap and then the recap of the recap after this. All right, everyone, it's time for Carl, who wasn't even in this episode, to endure. Time for the boss fight. Oh boy. I'm losing my goddamn mind. All right, everyone, I'm going to try my hardest to beat this boss. Do we just do nothing? Blood Blossom, please don't do QTEs. Ignore the shitty QTEs. Exactly, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Which means I should put it to a vote with scam points. Do it for Jacob. I ain't doing shit for Jacob.
Somebody help me! Stay away!
All right, this is an action poll, everybody. It's only 2 minutes long. Instead of the usual 10 minutes. You've only got 2 minutes to decide. Oh, we get to see the gun scene again with the air screamer. Use your scam points and decide now. Do we do the QTEs or not? Am I going to be able to influence Nub Zombie Cannon? You're deciding right now by using your scam points as your voice. You can decide Nub Zombie Cannon forever.
Stay away!
Will I do the QTEs or not? Currently, our third option is in the lead. The redemption option. Remember, this is a limited time poll. This is not open for the usual 10 minutes. It's going to be closing very soon. Almost by the time Rise Bando's cameo comes and goes on screen, it's going to be over. Oh, the air screamer. All right, the poll has ended. Yeah, Rise Bando, kill it. And there it goes. So the redemption third option was the winner of the poll. And that was the who cares option. I put 3 options. Do the QTEs, yeah, no, or who cares? And who cares won with an overwhelming amount. Like I said, the redemption choice. So good for you, community. You've changed Nub Zombie Cannon forever. You've influenced something very, very important by being here live today. And I really am proud of all of you as a community for coming together and overcoming these challenges. So thank you all so much for taking part and shaping history. Also, as usual, moderators, please randomly distribute points, refund some people, roll things back, do whatever you want with the points. I don't care. Now you have to do the QTEs anyway because our choices don't matter. On the flip side, now I'm not doing the QTEs. And it looks like the community isn't either, since no one succeeded. So you shaped Silent Hill canon and Nub Zombie canon. Carl failed to endure. I got 800 points. Is that it? Is it over now? Did we not get to the boss fight? Oh, wait. What was that? Did we get some extra cameos there? I think they're trying to set up the post-show developer thing. Eduardo, you ready? Do we got anything? What's going on? Oh. There it is. That's what we've been waiting for. Here's the real boss fight. Get ready. Get ready, chat. Put your finger on the screen. You better not fuck up the QTEs during the developer post-show boss fight. We didn't even make it to the boss.
Welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Post-show. My name is Layla. I'm here with Noah. Noah, what did we just watch?
Yes, please.
What did we just watch indeed?
That's exactly what I was thinking, but probably for different reasons.
Because you decided that Toby needs to break into the Foundation and attack them. And by the way, I'm sorry for the snarler that's barking in the background. There are weird things happening here at the Silent Hill Ascension live show operation. But
they've already Jacob has already sicked the dogs on her.
And he sure did. And he set fire.
Someone saved Noah.
What did you think about that, Layla? Like,
they already came for Layla. They replaced her with an imposter.
His go-getter attitude, that's for sure.
Someone needs to check on Noah.
You know, Toby got to take some direct action, but unfortunately our audience did not get to take as much direct action because we did not see the boss fight today. There will be more opportunities.
The dog ending.
So that is completely okay. I will still be rooting for you all the same. Now, Noah, I believe we have some information
That's
about cameos
fucking
today.
perfect, Freeman. We got the dog ending.
Yes, pull up that lovely cameo graphic because you can take part in a cameo contest every day. So you can be part of the show every day.
Hold on.
So you can be an extra in Silent Hill Ascension.
We got the dog ending, so we just need the appropriate
6:30
music.
PM Pacific time. So Leila, tell us more.
Yeah, so one really important aspect of Silent Hill Ascension is our cameo system. So you, as an audience member, can be a part of the Silent Hill canon forever. We actually saw somebody with Astrid today bringing Orson back to her, which was a lovely favor to do. So each day, you and all the audience members can enter a cameo contest to have parts in the series, and you can enter those cameo contests with influence points to buy a ticket. So yeah, we saw somebody very helpful for Astrid today, and Noah, we've also seen several dead bodies get dragged around. So there's a wide range of things you could be doing as a cameo.
And now that's why I signed up for this, because I wanted to see those bodies hit the floor. And like, again, just because we didn't succeed this time, keep on doing it, because I do want to see that boss fight. And that was the
just keep doing it.
we saw in the Foundation.
They really want to, man.
Rachel,
really wish we we could have seen that boss fight.
She needs therapy.
If only they could make people give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, oh, really, truly, like a lot happened. So our video today is that Toby and Rachel and members of the Foundation see indisputable proof, real, like, completely solid proof that the Withering is happening in Hope's Junction. So I believe we have a video. And there it goes. Yeah,
there it goes.
So, I cannot get over the Entangler. Every time I look at it, I just every time you see
this recap that we just watched, a recap for the 3 minutes of animation that we just watched.
So this was a pretty intense.
Let's take a look.
I don't know how you felt about it.
Yeah,
it was pretty intense. How did you feel about it, chat?
Really, Layla, you know how I feel about this. What's cool about Silent
I thought it was really funny when the man that they said was the everyman that we were all supposed to relate to kicked down the church door and threw in a Molotov. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Personally, I don't know if the
I thought that was great.
You know that they say that he came wrapped in vines. You know, like they have pretty good. Redcliffe has good descriptions of the monsters we are seeing. So it's like I'm really interested to see where this goes and who's delusional here and who's actually knows what's up. You know?
Yeah. Leaders of pyramid-shaped self-improvement groups tend to be pretty charismatic, right? And tend to be pretty good storytellers. That's how they get people to go along with their
Chat is awesome. Posting the dogs is hysterical. Oh yeah, I completely forgot.
Quite so descriptive.
Can we get Ascension chat mode?
With the Withering.
Let's get some Ascension chat mode going.
For the citizens of Hope's Junction, though, you know, we've seen Rachel make some questionable calls. We've seen Toby make some questionable calls, including just now, thanks to the audience's choice, a Molotov cocktail. But I'm sure the rest of the town doesn't really want to be dealing with this.
No, they're basically forcing, and all of us together with them, we're coercing a whole town into this madness. I hope y'all are enjoying it as much as we do, because we are definitely enjoying it.
There it is. There it is. Sorry, technical difficulties.
A new decision opening today. So graphic production. Could you please pull up the graphic? So our decision
production, please pull up the graphic.
Astrid, tell the social worker, because now she's in a bit of trouble because she lost little Orson. She can't really explain that she was pulled into the other world or whatever.
Oh yeah, that would be hard to explain.
She decided she's gonna take responsibility, which is the redemption in this case, or is she gonna?
There's no way that she would believe her.
Yeah, easy route, suffering, and then.
Oh yeah, my son just vanished into the fog and was in another world.
She can lie, which will lead to her domination. So that's a tricky one.
Sorry,
Leila,
what?
What's your take on this?
I mean, just seeing how close things got with Toby today, I am curious to see if we'll see a similar intensity on some of the more like subtle decisions, right? Because as we talked about earlier,
I hope we make some more subtle decisions that cause people to throw more Molotovs.
All of these decisions. So, are you going to set a? How do I word this? You're basically telling you're deciding how Astrid thinks and what the core of her behavior is. So are you going to set her on a redemptive path? Are you going to set her on a damnable path? And again, I am really rooting for the suffering people.
What's going to happen with the fate of this character that you don't know anything about after 9 days into the story?
I'm very interested to see,
will they be redeemed for the things that they've done that you don't know what they've done because we haven't told you yet?
Definitely like a more low-key decision.
Or will they feel guilt?
The fervor will be around it.
Will the guilt monster kill them because their hope isn't high enough?
Because and it's not even. This is a dramatic. Layla, why are you like playing it down?
Only you, the community, can decide.
And you know, I don't know if she deserves to lose our son. Maybe it's like the best thing that could happen to him if they put him with another family who doesn't have monsters plaguing them. But you know, that's for Astrid, okay? That's a pretty intense decision.
But Orson with a family that just doesn't have monsters around them.
You're not wrong, and again, again, this is why we can't be co-parenting, because when I'm dazzled by a Molotov cocktail, I do kind of forget the stakes.
How many Molotov cocktails have been thrown your way, Layla?
From you, so you're not wrong.
Blink twice if you're in danger.
It's quite risky for Astrid as a parent, and especially in terms of like lying to authority, which
don't let Genvid treat you this way.
To lie to authority. But as we said before, this is a fate decision, but we also have some hope. Things you can do to raise her hope. So Noah, do you have details on that?
Yeah, because the
Oh, don't worry, Noah. Don't worry. I got it. I got it. I got it. I'll show him. I'll show him the details. Don't worry. I've got the details. Here's what you can do to bring Astrid's hope back up. Don't worry. This is what you do. Sorry, Eduardo, you're in the way. Here we go. We got it. Got it. Hope affected.
Stuck in the back of your car, just dragging along. So we need hope, and it's not easy to get hope in Hope's Junction. So better play those puzzles and help people.
Yeah, you better play those puzzles. You guys, you know, the one I just showed you. That's what they're telling you to go and do. That's what they're saying. Go do this. It will affect the characters. It will affect the story.
No, I'm scared because if the names are any indication, you know, Joy is not so joyful. What happened to her? Hope's Junction, not so hopeful. I don't want to know about Faith, what's going to be there. And
wow.
You know, it's all the backwards.
Oh, you're right. That is kind of ominous.
It's almost like everything is intentionally named ironically as one of the least subtle plot points in the world.
In terms of, you know, setting characters on their path with the decisions that you drive them to.
Did you know Silent Hill's not actually really all that silent?
Is something you can drive up with the puzzles.
It's actually quite noisy because of all the monsters.
Aside from
the monsters and the sirens.
But
I know, might be mind blowing.
Mentioned survival, but all of these do lead to the long-term outcomes of the show. So we've got a long time.
Already back to Ascension chat. Yeah,
a lot of story.
That's enough Ascension chat
and
time.
A lot of opportunities to really guide these characters.
Again, thank you so much to the community over on YouTube for deciding to have chat on the screen.
No pressure. It's just, you know.
I hope everyone has been enjoying that today and will continue to enjoy it every day.
Yeah, life
since you have shaped the canon forever without really knowing exactly what you're deciding is going to change about the stream, you're still affecting things. And that's what counts.
We have everything
right?
Here. It's like life.
Do you get it?
It's a big mess.
Fiction.
It's a big mess. Yes, thank you, Noah. Thank you.
No, it's great.
I appreciate you joining me on this call today and giving me some valid criticisms and feedback. Thank you. Yes, I agree. It's a big mess.
I mean, not great circumstance that they found themselves in, right? I hesitate to call it like calamitous, because you know, there's still a way out for them, maybe, but.
You know, I learned the word calamity quite late in life. You learned it maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, here at nubzombie.com, we know you appreciate the work we have done in making the stream as interactable as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
and that even you can affect Nubzombie canon.
At least in terms of being in a small room.
Even you, especially you, who has the most scam points out of everyone.
On you and your,
you know who you are.
Self-improvement enthusiasts.
I'll put your name on screen.
Yeah, entanglers.
You know who you are.
My skin crawls. I don't want to deal with them anymore, but I think I will. I think I will have to.
I think perhaps we're in for the long haul with our friend the Entangler. But hey, we have some decisions opening up today. Production, if you'd throw to the graphic for me. And Noah, if you'd give us some details.
Right, because we still have to decide what will Astrid tell the social worker.
What will Astrid tell the social worker?
Which will lead to her redemption, or is she going to blame
I'm sorry, that was also pretty fucking hilarious.
Just kidding. I love all those
Astrid
options.
wandering
or she
randomly
would
into the
lie
other world,
and say
wandering
they
back
were
into
playing a game,
reality, and
which
just
will
a
lead
lady,
to her damnation.
a created
So,
character
we have to
avatar
decide
being
this
there
now.
like,
It's, you know,
I
no
called Child
decision
Protective
is
Services
really,
on
like,
you.
without consequences here. It's just like some of them are really can kill them.
Social workers are Silent Hill canon.
Biting a child taken away.
Where were the social workers to
I
come
did
and
see
take
somebody,
Josh
comment
away
at some point
from the
that,
shepherds?
Orson should
Why
bite
wasn't
the
that a plot
entanglement.
point? Where were the social workers when Alessa needed them?
I think distance may thwart that plan, but I do like the thinking behind that. I like that our audience is
By the way, I
proactive
called
approach.
Right, maybe
Hey,
there's like
here, I
other
found your kid. By the
wormhole
way,
where
I
you
called
can
CPS. That was an actual plot point in the
send
story
our
today.
son to bite.
It's insane.
Like, you know, maybe
Again, zero fucking
in this
context.
particular version of our world, there's like a
Yeah.
high-speed train that goes underwater or something. Who's to say?
It feels like
But I do think
You know
that
what
if Orson
Silent
can
Hill
cause
Ascension
trouble, then
feels
maybe he
like
should
is
punish
like
him. Maybe he
if
should
you have a
get some
friend
light
who's
in
like
some of these
super into a
monsters.
TV show and they
like the
keep
way our
telling you
audience is
over and
thinking.
over
I'm
how
curious
good
to
it
see what
is,
other creative solutions they come
and
up
you
with
just
to
like
these problems.
sit down and
whether or not
watch
they're
like a
actual decisions
random
that we
episode that's like
present or
5, 6 seasons in.
Right. But either way, that was pretty distressing, and I don't
Like you
really
just
know,
sit down and watch
like,
some random
Rachel
late
is
season of
having
Game
kind
of
a
Thrones
crisis
and you
of
don't know
faith-
anything
faith
about it.
here with the foundation, with all the stuff she's seeing,
And you're just
And
like,
literally with her child faith.
yeah, she's having
Oh my God.
faith crisis.
I can't believe they
Square.
called Child Protective Services on
Square.
Jon Snow.
So I'm really curious.
And you're like, who is that?
And also,
What
Eric
should I
is
care?
pulled into this kind of like being like, okay, I'm gonna go with you, Rachel, you know, and he's like, and oh, by the way, she picked Krista to do it.
Jon Snow,
Oh,
by the
sorry, I
way,
realized
part
you
of
have
Silent
stuff
Hill
to share
canon.
with us right now.
No, I like that
He
you're
plays
getting
Vincent
invested
in
the
Silent
story.
Hill
I just
Revelations.
wanted to keep talking about it, but we do actually have some developer updates that you're on task to present to us to production. If you'd pull up our updates.
Yes, because we want to tell you that the rally is improved, so you can band together to increase your decision impact. That's a really fun development update, and we have cameos in endurance
Rallies
scenes
improved,
now,
band
so
together and
more
increase your
appear
decision
as you
impact.
succeed.
Cameos
And
and
we
endurance
also plan
scenes
to make
more appear
endurance
as you
scenes shorter,
succeed.
according to audience
We
feedback.
plan to make
So
endurance
it's gonna
scenes
still leave you
shorter
with the same
according
influence
to
points.
audience
We're listening
feedback.
to you. We are looking
Same
at you and
influence
listening to you.
points.
So don't be mean, okay? But okay,
Don't
you
be
can
mean.
a little mean. But Layla, can you please explain?
I don't know what they said not to be mean about, but you probably should quit
Thank
it.
you for taking us through those updates. Yeah, so in terms of rallies,
God,
they
please
are
make them
gonna
shorter.
allow
Today's was pretty
people,
short,
to catch up.
I think.
They give you more agency over the story.
Maybe it's
by
because I
letting
was
you rally
distracted
other users
and I
to
spent the whole
cause
time
literally
making a
call
poll
other users,
that
to a decision that
affected
you
nothing.
want to
I'm sorry.
get
I
in.
mean,
Decisions that are
running a
behind
community
get temporary
decision
boosts,
where
letting you bring
everyone
back
could
interest from a
validly
loss. I
use
actually
their
saw a
scam
couple of
points
rallies go back
to
and
affect
forth on
Nub
the
Zombie
Toby
canon.
decision,
I was so
and
distracted by
the
that
nation ended up pulling
very
out. So rallies
involved and
are
strenuous
definitely there,
mechanic
for you if you
of the
see
Nub
your
Zombie
interest falling
stream
behind.
live experience
There are also cameos
that
and endurance scenes as dead bodies.
the enduring
And,
scene
most
felt
importantly,
shorter
endurance
tonight.
Scenes will be shorter shortly. We've been seeing a
Shorter
lot
shortly.
of feedback, so thank you all at home for telling us and for voicing your opinions. This is a collaborative
They're responding to
thing
fan
and definitely
feedback.
more than just you making decisions for the story.
But this is
we
not
do
what people were
listen and value
saying.
all of your
This is not
feedback.
what people
So,
meant
as
when
a
they were
result,
saying just end it.
Of that, we will be making endurance scenes
They
shorter,
weren't
so
talking about
hopefully they
making
will
the
feel better for
endurance scene
everybody.
shorter.
We are continuing to
They
investigate
meant
all occurrences, also
the
of
whole thing.
disconnection and latency issues.
All of
We've
it.
heard that
You could
feedback
just
as well.
stop.
We
That would be
really,
fine.
truly, genuinely appreciate users that report issues and give feedback. It is really helping us, and you can always reach out at feedback@genvid.com.
Yep.
One more time, if you wish to send us an email with an issue or a comment, that is feedback@genvid.com. That is the official channel.
Feedback@genvid.com.
So Noah, I believe you have an update on the weekly episodes for us now.
Please be sure to actually leave them
Yes, so
constructive
production,
feedback. Even though the CEO said that
starting from today,
criticisms
and every
around
Wednesday,
things
noon
like
Pacific time,
story
PlayStation
and
Plus
themes
Premium
are
for
not
the
valid
servers on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 consoles can get a sneak
Oh, yeah,
preview
you can watch it.
within the Sony Pictures Core app. And
Sony
also
Pictures
on
Core
Thursday,
app
the weekly
users.
episode is available within the Bravia Core app for Bravia TVs.
Bravia
and
TV
Xperia
owners.
Smartphones. So this is quite exciting.
Look
And
at
the
that
weekly
happy
episode
couple
is
enjoying
available
Silent
Thursday
Hill
as well on
Ascension on their
TV
couch.
and movie streaming service Tubi in the US,
It's
Canada,
just like
Australia,
us.
and New Zealand. So you can see us everywhere.
The AI
And the
generated
important thing to note here
couple.
is that the weekly episodes contain all of the content.
Look at
from
them
the
enjoying
previous week
Silent
that you
Hill
can
Ascension on
watch
their
all
PlayStation
together.
5.
This content also exists in app. So this is just all of the story that you've seen compiled into a handy episode.
Let
that you
me
can
sum
watch
up what they're
in these
saying
other
about it.
places
It's
outside
in
the app. The same
4K,
content
but
can
it's
be
still the
accessed
same
here.
shitty
There won't be a
cutscenes,
difference. Just
and
wanted
it's
to make sure we
just the
make that
shitty
very clear.
cutscenes. The endure
So,
segments,
Noah, you and
the
I are
voting
reaching,
mechanics,
unfortunately,
the
the end of our
shitty
time
mini
together,
games, none of
which
that is
sad
on your
for us,
PlayStation
but
5. None of that is on your Bravia TV.
we'll be back.
All you can do
We'll
is
be back
watch
together soon.
the full 4K HD
today we
re-uploads
saw-
of the episodes
so the Attack the
themselves.
Foundation, we saw proof of the withering, or at least what the Foundation considers proof of the withering, right? We certainly don't know
withering?
what the truth is for anything. We didn't get to see the boss fight, but that's okay. There will be other opportunities, and I'm super excited for us to actually get to it. Stick around. In
Yeah,
the
I can't wait
app
to see
for
that
some
boss
puzzles. As we
fight.
said, those help with
Better
the
luck next
character's
time.
hope. And I believe we have a graphic for the next show. And ta-da, thank you very much. We will be back. We are here for the pre-show Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:40 p.m. Pacific. The show itself, it happens at 6 p.m. Pacific
We already
every single
know.
day. And then this Friday, Xiaoling will be back for an interview in the post-show.
Xiaoling Lei is going to be back.
I hope you're all looking forward to that. She
Can't
always
wait
comes
for
with some great
Friday.
Updates from the team. So Noah, thank you so much for spending
She
your time
always
with me
gives us
today.
those story
Thank you, the audience,
updates
for
from the
spending your time
team.
with us today. We really do appreciate you. Once again, if you have a comment, it's feedback@genvid.com.
Did she?
I hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday
Did we
night.
get some
Have a
insight
lovely
into the
day,
story
and we'll
last
see you again on
time Xiaoling Lei was there? I thought last time they just oh, that's it. I thought last time they just recapped like 7 times in a row. Wow. Well, I guess let's put the music back on. We're not playing guitar, so we can just enjoy this. Oops. We survived another day. Only 7 months and 3 weeks left. You should practice more, though. Legitimately, I have been practicing guitar again. Because part of me was like wanting to confirm that the chords displayed for the things in the minigame, because the minigame, like, it shows the chords on the side. And part of me wanted to confirm, like, that those are not the correct chords. So I actually have been practicing guitar again. And I was playing alongside some of the songs that are in the minigame. And, like, yep, those are definitely not the correct chords. So that was great. Can we get a withering guy emote? We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to make too many of my channel emotes like revolve around this shitfest. 1 or 2 is fine. Trauma and Shady are wonderful and pretty much get the point across, I think. But we'll see. We'll see about potentially adding some more things. Like an egg with a ball gag. All right. Well, first of all, let's refresh. Because sometimes just refreshing this updates things after it all ends. Yep. There's the new catch-up. So let's get our free points by watching the catch up. There it is, 100 points, 100 scam points. $100 scam points. 100 scam points. So glad to catch up on those episodes. These are the mini games for the day. Stones. We're all the way up to level 10 with stones. Hashi. You can see I've been really, you know, plugging away at these puzzles. Codebreaker. I might have done some Codebreaker while sitting on the toilet. Don't judge me. I tried to give this game like the benefit of the doubt of like maybe even as just like a mindless pass the time kind of thing, it would be okay. And even then, it's like I would much rather just be doing other things. I also just wanted to test out all of the games since I predominantly just stream this and interact with it through the web browser. So I'm like, okay, maybe people who are on phones are having the real primo experience that they on the platform that they designed this for. And somehow it runs worse on mobile. Who would have thought? Oh yeah, we have to rate today's episode. Today's episode, I think, is 3 shitty wallets out of 5. For those who don't know, we now have in place an official Silent Hill Ascension episode rating system. That started yesterday. This can't be rated on like a normal scale of stars because it's so shitty. But we've designed our own rating scale of 1 through 5 shitty wallets. I compared it to Silent Hill 2. In Silent Hill 2, there's a puzzle where there's a toilet filled with horrible liquidy shit, and there's a wallet at the bottom of that toilet under all the liquidy shit. And that wallet in that shitty toilet, it's a perfect analogy for Ascension. So I figured that would make for an appropriate rating scale. How many shitty wallets out of 5? 3 shitty wallets out of 5 today. We had a wonderful, horrible looking animation of Toby, the character. I gotta say, it was extra funny. It was extra funny hearing the developers come on stream first. The pre-show is what made it. The pre-show set it up, and then the episode knocked it out of the park. The pre-show saying, everyone loves Toby. Everyone relates to Toby. He's the regular guy. He wears flannel. And then we see Toby in the episode, and he kicks the door down and throws a Molotov into a church in a room full of people. And like, I get it, they're a cult, but part of their whole story setup has been like, we're supposed to be feeling something for the cult. We're supposed to be recognizing the human aspect of these people as individuals, even though we still don't know who any of these people are or why we should care even in 9 days in. And I'm saying that as somebody who has watched more Ascension than anybody. Like, I've rewatched every single episode block a minimum of 3 times. I watch it live with you guys, and I usually rewatch another streamer, at least one other streamer's playthrough experience, whatever of it. And then I'll rewatch it again with just the subtitles, no other distractions, so that I can take notes on it for the Saturday story recaps. And I'm telling you, as somebody who has put this much time and effort into it, there's nothing of substance there. Like, we still don't know anything significant about these people. Definitely not enough to be making, to be caring. We can make the decisions to shape these characters, but there's a big difference between just giving people the ability to do that and making people care about those decisions. A big part of Ascension working the way the devs intend for it to is people have to care. People have to give a shit. You have to give a shit about doing the endure segments. You have to give a shit about the choices that you're making. And you're not going to care if you don't know anything about these characters. You're not going to care, oh, how does, like, what do we even have right now? Let's go through our two choices that are even available right now. What will Astrid tell the social worker? Will she take responsibility for losing Orson? Will she blame the man in the fog? Or will she lie and tell her that we were just playing a game? Astrid is, you know, a character. Her mom died. She thinks her dad did it. She's a scientist and uses a telescope. She can tell what a liquid is by looking at it through a telescope. Microscope, sorry. I'm not a scientist, clearly. Is Rally working? Oh, let's find out. Oh, is that what's happening? That's what's happening. Your votes are worth 260% right now because someone's rallying behind we were playing a game. So what happens if I put points into this? Let's put like 1,000 points into this. 1,100 points, I guess. Is it actually influencing it more? Where's the leaderboard? Am I blind or is the leaderboard button gone? They took away leaderboard? They removed it. Did I miss a tweet? Did Jacob say why? That would be too transparent. I guess it was there for the first 9 days. I said on day one, it's stupid that they show this information. But if you're 9 days in, like, commit to it, I guess. Now they hide it? Now that we've already seen? All right, let's see. I just want to see if there was like an official statement. Let's look over Jacob's tweets. Rallies are back 49 minutes ago. Rallies are back. Very excited for rallies to be functioning again as they're a core part of making decisions more exciting. It makes it even more exciting. These allow users to come together to rally back choices that are falling behind. When you start a rally on a choice that's in third place, the rally will go on for several minutes. During this time, the points you contribute will receive a bonus factor between 4 to 5 times, depending on how far behind the decision is. The goal is for you and others to be able to work together quickly to get a choice that was behind back into number 1. The closer you push a choice back to the top, the smaller the bonus becomes. This means you can have an outsized influence for very little points. So we made it easier for whales to... We made it cheaper. It's not really easier. It's the same effort. But we made it cheaper for whales to influence a decision that's behind. Isn't that ultimately all that really does? I get the intent behind it. It's supposed to be a way for, like, evening out the votes so that something that's behind can potentially catch up at any point. But if it's behind, doesn't that mean that the majority of the community doesn't want it? And by adding in rallies, all you're doing is giving more validity to the people who are going out of their way to influence a choice that the community is overall not voting for. Am I misunderstanding? Or does that sound correct? Does that sound like an accurate assessment? It's hard to tell because we still don't even know how a lot of this stuff works. If a lot of this stuff works. Let me see what else he says. If you start a rally on a number 2 choice, it will have a smaller bonus applied. Something number 2 is poop. Joke. If you start a rally on a number 1 choice, it will have only a 1% bonus applied, but it will prevent another choice from receiving a rally, effectively blocking users from rallying. This is good for close quarters calls. CQC. What? I'm going to read that again. If you start a rally on a number 1 choice, it will have only a 1% bonus applied, but it will prevent another choice from receiving a rally, effectively blocking users from rallying. This is good for close quarters calls. CQC. So if a whale ultimately decides on a decision, dumps all the points into it, sways it in their favor, and wants to block the community's only option of coming back against it, they can also just spend all of their points on rallies in order to prevent the catch-up mechanic for the previous. They've made it easier to manipulate for people who wish to manipulate it. They made it even more pointless, because it's not necessarily, even if you're at least using a system that's just counting every vote 1 for 1, you're at least getting an idea of, like, a general average what the overall community wants. But with all of this, anybody can I mean, I guess that's the point. But don't even it's just random. You might as well just, like, roll some dice. You might as well just roll some dice and decide what scene comes next. Exactly. All of this boils down to spend money on points to feel like you have enough points to influence something that ultimately at the end of the day is not worth influencing anyway. But I guess that's a matter of opinion, which is not valid criticism. So we need to stop making that argument, I guess. Okay. How will Carl handle Ava's request to teach her to shoot? I put 1.2 thousand points into take her gun away. Can we rally? Oh, it's already rallied. So does that mean that the 1.2k points that I already put into it are 379% less worthwhile than the same 1.2 thousand points that I could put in now. So they made the points that I've already spent on something less valuable through the rally. Something that already had no value to begin with anyway. Well, I take that back. They've got a pretty good value, actually. 26,400 to $20 USD. Pretty good exchange rate. Ugh. Okay. Let's see what we have. Stream is just going to end right now. If this is an egg with a ball gag in its mouth or grandma's butt. Oh. Uncommon brown wavy hair. How about that? Let's try it on. Wow. All right, back to the black beanie. Zach Baggins, looking good, looking good. We still don't have any better facial hair for him. Wonderful. Why is this saying new? Yeah, we have guitar, we have shapeshifter. Look at Toby's hope. Didn't we just see Toby get eaten by a vagina face in tonight's episode? Oh, no, wait. No, someone else got eaten. Toby was fine. Because Xavier was like, just go home, Toby. Make sure he leaves the premises. Make sure he gets safely back to his car after walking in here and throwing a Molotov. That's right. It turned out everyone was fine and then they escorted him out. Everything happened so suddenly, like my brain's already trying to block out the information. That's why I have to watch these episodes a minimum of 3 times before anything sort of commits to my memory. Because, like, oh my god. There's so... I'm like so distracted by the bad acting and the bad animations and everything being choppy that, like, when stuff actually happens, it's also just shot really poorly. A lot of the scene transitions are so jarring, it feels like a mistake. It keeps feeling like I said, I compared it to like a DVD skipping, like a scratched up DVD that's just like skipping through bits and pieces of scenes. So you kind of get an idea of what's going on, but every time it would like cut to the next, you know, scene, the next camera shot, it would feel like we just missed, you know, 6 seconds of action. Like, where are we? What's happening? Team Toby, so relatable. Typical Team Toby propaganda. Well. Oh, did they change? They changed the graphic for the stars. These were the typical yellow stars that you see. Now these are blue. This is different, isn't it? Slight UI changes. I'm trying to keep up with any even minor things like that. Was this here? Were these little information things where you can find out more about the characters here? I mean, I haven't looked at them. If it's been here the whole time, I never noticed. Let's go through them all. Eric Hernandez, currently in negative hope. Some decisions allow you to influence a character's fate. Fate determines a character's ending. Damnation. So he's currently on the damnation path. Just an initiate in the Foundation, Eric is a sensitive, loyal soul who often finds himself in the middle of a years-long feud between his wife Rachel and his best friend Toby. When Toby's sister Joy dies in a ritual performed by his wife and his life is plummeted into chaos, his loyalties between his family, friendships, and his belief in the Foundation are put to the ultimate test. This is not the right music. What the fuck? I don't know why my music player is changing. Plummeted in a ritual performed by his wife and his Toby's sister Joy dies in a ritual performed by his wife. And his life is plummeted into chaos. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm having a stroke when I read stuff sometimes. When Toby's sister Joy dies in a ritual performed by his wife, and his life is plummeted into chaos. His loyalties between his family, friendships, and his belief in the Foundation are put to the ultimate test. Are the horrors, ellipses, engulfing... Am I missing words? Are the horrors, ellipses, engulfing his town a warning to reject the Foundation's teachings, or an opportunity for him to finally find power of his own by embracing the occult to protect his family? Question mark. What? That's like reading the back of a VHS box for like a super cheap movie from like the 70s or 80s. Was this written by AI too? That felt like it. Rachel Hernandez, currently positive hope on the redemption arc. One of the Foundation's most zealous and fastest rising acolytes, mother and community leader Rachel Hernandez seems to have it all under control. But when a ritual she performs goes wrong and leads to the death of another Foundation member, Joy, she begins being stalked by unspeakable horrors. Her role in the Foundation comes into question, and so may her belief in the cult's teachings. Ellipses. Or she may decide that the horrors all around her prove that the withering is upon them and she must stop it. Astrid Johansson, negative hope, suffering fate. Neuropathologist Astrid Johansson doesn't know if she's going insane or if the monsters stalking her are real and something she can't explain. After the death of Mother, old wounds are reopened, and the town's resentment against her family resurfaces, forcing her to navigate her complicated feelings about her late mother and her suspicions against her father, all while trying to, ellipses, protect her young son, ellipses, and prevent him from inheriting a dark family legacy, period. Can she break the Johansson quote-unquote curse? What's the Johansson curse? Gee, wouldn't that be a cool piece of information to have 9 days into this fucking story? We know that everybody in the town hates the Johanssons. Don't know why. Ava doesn't seem to mind, but we don't know who Ava is either. Toby Sorelli, the most negative of the Negative Hope crew, currently on the damnation fate path. Toby Sorelli is Hope Junction's town drunk, the relatable one, with a long history of irresponsible and reckless behavior. It's true. I also used to drink and play Book of Memories, so I relate to Toby Sorelli. In his youth, Toby's sister Joy suffered from Toby's misbehavior. It drove her to become an addict herself and eventually seek treatment and community with the Foundation under Rachel's mentorship. Toby hates the Foundation almost as much as he hates Rachel. So when he, Ellipses, learns of his sister's death, he decides to hold those responsible accountable at any cost. The Joy stuff is new info. Didn't know she was an addict directly. We did. There were visuals of drugs. Well, I guess not directly. I see what you mean. There was hinting at it. There was symbolism, really subtle symbolism, such as Joy appearing to Toby in an alleyway covered in needles, with multiple needles sticking out of her, saying to Toby, "This is why I'm addicted to drugs." Other than that subtle moment in the story, this is new information. We have confirmation that Joy had a drug problem. You're absolutely right. Barry Burton, Negative Hope. He's also not doing so good in the Hope department. Got to get better at guitar. I don't know what to tell you, Carl. On his way to damnation. After the mysterious passing of his wife, why did they not name Ingrid? In Astrid's thing, they just call her mother, and in his thing, they just call her wife. Even the writers didn't like Ingrid. Even they hated the Johansons, apparently. After the mysterious passing of his wife, a mild-tempered Norwegian farmer named Carl Johansson finds himself the prime suspect in her death. Weighed down by the regrets of his past, he's dogged by strange and disturbing visions of monsters on his farm. He becomes convinced that evil forces are to blame for all of his problems, and that he must do whatever he can to protect Ellipses, his daughters and grandson from them, and the townsfolk who hate his family for some reason. And that's it. I can't click and drag this any further. So we don't get like... Not to mention, this isn't even all the information. They don't even give you Eric's real name. His real name is Alonso, according to information that they put out on the official Twitter and stuff beforehand. Are the townsfolk the curse? I don't know. The curse is this game, and the cure is money. It's the only way. We have to stop giving them money. And for anyone who had been criticizing, like, that I have the season pass, it's worth again pointing out, like, first of all, it wasn't even my money. I planned on not investing anything into this. Yami was kind enough to invest $20 so that I could get the season pass and see what all it entailed. ultimately, that wound up giving some valuable information. We got to see exactly how shitty the games that you have to pay for are. We got to see that they do not honor that the refund policy that the CEO claimed everyone is entitled to since day one. So we proved that that was bullshit by investing a measly $20. And better yet, hopefully, out of the like few thousand people who have seen this already, they've seen this and decided to keep their money and not invest anything into this scam. So we can only hope. We can only hope. Still waiting for something to connect this whole thing to the town. I don't think it's going to happen, Nora. Specifically, the direction of the series is to move away from the town of Silent Hill. We are going to be getting the least Silent Hill games going forward, because that's the business model for the Silent Hill franchise, coming from the overall producer Motoi Okamoto himself. They want to grow outside of the town, which is why none of this takes place in Silent Hill so far. It's like Resident Evil, you guys. They weren't always in Raccoon City. That was a legit argument from the developers on that criticism regarding that business model. Despite the fact that they don't seem to grasp the very, very simple concept. Resident Evil is not called Raccoon City. Biohazard is not called Raccoon City. No one expected the Resident Evil games to just stay in one location. Whereas Silent Hill, it's about the town of Silent Hill. All of Silent Hill 1 takes place there. All of Silent Hill 2 takes place there. Most of Silent Hill 3 takes place there. And the first part is explaining why Heather has to go to there. Silent Hill 4 doesn't take place there. Most of it takes place in Walter's world. And Walter's worlds are basically recreation of Walter's memories of locations from Silent Hill. So it's at least like still related somewhat. Does Metal Gear take place in Metal Gear? Do you always need to have a Metal Gear in a Metal Gear game? Must it always take place in a Metal Gear? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the story as it goes on. I still plan on keeping up with it. Like I said, at the very least, at the end of November, if things don't significantly change, I might just switch over to only keeping up with Ascension on Saturdays instead of doing this every day. But for the month of November, at the very least, I'm still going to stick to it. We're still going to stream this every single day, see what happens with it. We see that things are being changed, but ultimately it's not affecting the overall quality of the experience in any kind of meaningful way. So it's just a matter of seeing kind of how things continue to unfold. Like I said, I want to try and be fair and give the biggest benefit of the doubt as possible, and not simply share my opinion that many people, you don't need to know my opinion on it, because most people can look at this for 5 seconds and pretty much come to the same conclusion as everyone else, for the most part. So I try and separate that out. You guys know I don't like this. You guys know how I feel about this. So I try to be as objective as possible. I'm trying to keep up, experiment with the systems, see how they're working. If things are actually working in this game the way they say they are, I don't want to just speculate and, give my tinfoil hat. Obviously, I give my thoughts where I want to, because that's just how it works. Unfortunately, I'm a human being with my thoughts and feelings, and this is my stream, and I'm going to share those thoughts at times. But when I suspect, that they don't actually have other scenes animated, for example, and then it's like, oh, whoops, we showed the wrong scene. We proved that there is differing branches and things that are fully animated. So it's like, yeah, maybe, kind of. I'm still somewhat skeptical that it's to the degree that they say it is. I'm still pretty skeptical on voting systems working as intended and not just being ultimately manipulatable by developers and people on the back end. So I'm trying to find evidence that either disproves or supports that as time goes on. And same in regards to any part of this, if I find evidence that the monetization is really not as predatory as everybody makes it out to be, that you can just earn enough points through doing everyday shit or whatever, if they adjust values to make it more significant and stuff like that, then that'll be something that we take note of going forward. So far, it's still not the case. If you want to do anything sort of like meaningful, it's going to require an insane amount of points, and now you can just manipulate it even further thanks to rallies. Oh man, Bach Basoup. Welcome, Raiders. Oh my god, my favorite game. It's everyone's favorite Silent Hill experience, Silent Hill Ascension. Was it a good one today? Did you watch it? Did you miss it? You might have been busy. Maybe you had something more important going on, but if you can believe it, Toby, you missed it? You had a sponsor? All right, Bach. We've been having a fun little bit where I've been raiding Bach a couple of times, and I go in there and I talk about Ascension as though it's like my favorite thing in the world. For everybody who just got here, this is complete dog shit. This is one of the worst things I've ever had the misfortune of interacting with, simply for the sake of trying to be a thorough and comprehensive Silent Hill content creator. And don't let them peek behind the curtain. I mean, for all the people who just joined from Bach's stream, welcome. You can start earning scam points today by watching the stream and following. You don't have to spend any money. You just have to tune in every day. You can earn scam points, and you too can influence the canon of Silent Hill, of Nub Zombie canon streams going forward. We've already had some very important community decisions. For example, the background music that you're hearing right now, that was chosen by the community using scam points. The amount of fog on this starting soon screen right here, there used to be less fog. You know what the community voted for using their scam points? More fog. And we're here to show you that you can make a difference and change history and influence Nub Zombie canon forever. So anyway, tonight's episode, Bach, there was a pre-show with the developers where they were talking about the character Toby. They were mentioning that Toby is supposed to be like the most relatable out of all of them. He's your everyday guy. He wears flannel. He shops at Kmart. Whatever. They were trying to talk about how relatable Toby is. Do you know what Toby did in tonight's episode? He kicked down the door to the church and threw a Molotov cocktail at people. Our relatable everyman Toby. So relatable. He just wants all of this to burn down. And I mean, I kind of get it. Toby. I see what signals we're supposed to be picking up on. I see the subtle symbolism. It was, oh god, it was, and there was a scene with Astrid where it's supposed to be this really scary scene. Astrid is going into the other world Orson wandered off into the fog, and she went off into the fog to chase after her son Orson. And ultimately, she just kind of wandered around in the other world for a little bit and then found her way back out, where there was a Create-A character making a cameo telling Astrid that they called CPS on her. So Child Protective Services is going to come take Orson away. This is Silent Hill, everybody. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So that's the community decision right now. There's only 2 decisions at the moment. What will Astrid tell the social worker? Will she take responsibility for being a bad parent? Will she blame the man in the fog? Or will she lie and say that they were just playing a game? There's also now a rally mechanic. So voting was already incredibly pointless and easy to manipulate. And now it's even more pointless and easier to manipulate. Because now with rallies, you can spend points to basically highlight a decision and make the votes for that decision for a certain amount of time worth more. So right now, everything in here is worth an extra 101%. And now that rally's over. So you can use rallies to basically artificially inflate decisions, despite the majority of the community not necessarily wanting that as a choice. You can use rally to manipulate that. They made it easier for the whales to manipulate things. You can also use a rally to block another choice from using it to overtake something. So let's say I'm an oil prince and I have billions of dollars. And I just want to sit here and spend a couple $1,000s, $2,000 on Silent Hill Ascension. That's nothing to me, right? I'm an oil prince. I eat in a $12,000 meal every day. So $2,000, we're going to spend that and buy millions of influence points, right? And I want Astrid to blame the man in the fog. So I can put 1,000,000 points on this, put it clearly in the lead, spend the points on the rally, put the rally on the choice that I want, which locks other people from using the rally to try and catch up the other decisions that the person who wailed didn't want to see. The whale can actually use the rally to lock the community out of actually determining what the majority of people want to see. What a cool mechanic. This has been broken since day 1. We're 9 days in, and they finally introduced this as like, guys, we finally fixed rallies. It's nuts. Voting is even, it was already basically pointless. Now it's even more pointless. Again, I appreciate everybody coming over from the Bakwa Super 8. I'm sure I just sound like a crazy ranting madman right now, completely out of context, much like Silent Hill Ascension's characters and story. So for a little bit of context, if you're new here, I'm Nub Zombie. I'm a very obviously passionate Silent Hill fan. I've been playing these games since the very first one back in '99. I've been streaming these games on Twitch full time since 2015. And I've done like thousands of hours of in-depth story playthroughs, challenge runs, speed runs, and everything for everything in the Silent Hill series. So if you want an in-depth story playthrough covering all of the nitty-gritty details of the Silent Hill arcade game, the light shooter, you're in luck. I've done that multiple times. The play novel, PT, all of the main games, of course, 1, 2, 3, and 4, Origins, Homecoming, Shattered Memories, Downpour. I've done all 500 zones of Book of Memories as part of a multi-year long project. And funny enough, at the end of that, I set my cartridge of Book of Memories on fire because it was the worst Silent Hill thing I had ever experienced at the time. I set it on fire at the end of all 500 zones, and I said, let's treat this like a cleansing ritual so that all the new games that have been announced will be better than Book of Memories. I said that about 6 months before Ascension came out. Guess what? They found a way to make something worse than Book of Memories. So yeah, for everybody who's just showing up and hearing me lose my mind, don't worry. It's just, approximately 24 years of fandom down the drain. That's all. I'm just having a little bit of crisis of character in this modern age of Silent Hill. That sticker right there says it all. Speaking of which, today's actually been kind of a rough day. My health has not been great. I've been doing my best to get back to streaming after taking a pretty long and inconsistent break from regular streaming to try to take care of some health issues. And I had, on top of that, a lot of things I had to go and take care of this morning. So I appreciate the raid, Bach. But yeah, we were kind of wrapping up the stream. So we're going to pass the love along. We're going to raid somebody else and just keep the love going. Again, we can see the names of everybody who contributed to all of our community decisions today, our leaderboard for all the top Scam Point contributors affecting the Nub Zombie canon. I really appreciate everyone being here and taking part in this momentous occasion. Thank you all so much. Let's go find someone to raid. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate all the love and support. Let's see. Oh. Wow, 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 wow. Man, Bach has been my go-to person to raid the last couple nights. You know what? We're gonna go raid Outer Heaven. My good friends over at Outer Heaven, I'm a big fan of them. Three Dog DRK and You Nightmare. You Nightmare is currently doing some Metal Gear Solid 1. Basically, if you're unfamiliar with Outer Heaven, they are incredibly knowledgeable and thorough streamers for the Metal Gear Solid series. So the same way I cover every single little aspect of Silent Hill stuff all across the franchise, the Outer Heaven guys do that for everything in Metal Gear Solid. So, good friends of mine, amazing streamers. But we'll go show Knight some love. Remember, stick around for the raid, participate in the raid, and you'll get some bonus scam points for use in future Nub Zombie stream canon community events. But otherwise, I'll be back again tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, around the same time, for another episode of Ascension. But till then, take it easy. Thank you all again so much for all the love and support. Thank you again, Bakba Soup, for the kind raid, and everyone who came by with Bak. I appreciate you stopping by, popping your head in. I absolutely love Bak. He's a good friend. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. I miss him. I would love to see you again sometime, Bak. And yeah, I really appreciate you all taking your time and coming along with the raid and seeing what I'm all about. So hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Till then, take it easy, everyone. I'll see you next time. Peace.